Hey everyone, it's OctoDylan. So in this video, I'm going to be getting the final reward for side order, which is essentially like 100%ing the game. So I'm going to be explaining in this video how you get this reward, how you can get it in multiplayer, and things like that. Also, spoilers in this video for those of you who haven't completed side order. Okay, we all good for spoilers? Okay. Alright, so I'm going to be opening up the final locker, and I do believe we should be getting Agent 8's pallet, so let's get that. Here we are, Agent 8's pallet. Now, this weapon is her original weapon from Splatoon 2 in Octo expansion, so it's super nice to have this back. Yep. Seems a bit resistant to hacking. In fact, the more hacks you have active, the fewer color chips you can set. Oh, okay. Alright, so before we go take this pallet up to the Spire, I just thought I'd explain how we got here. So, what essentially you do is, well, the lockers that were just here, what you need to do is, like, once you open up, like, maybe 30 of them over the course of those 30, 40-ish locker keys that you get, you'll be able to open up each locker, and you'll be able to get each pallet. Now, thing is, you need to beat all 30 floors with each pallet in order to unlock Agent 8's pallet. So, that's how you do this, and I just thought I'd explain it. Now, in my opinion, a nice little neat trick for those of you who may not know about this, but you can actually resume a run where you left off. So, like an example, one time I got the tri-stringer to the 30th floor and I died. But the thing is, you can actually resume a run if you have enough pearls. So if you actually go over to Marina and you hit the Y button, you can resume any run that you left off at. So that was a little trick that I was constantly using whenever I had enough pearls, just to make this a little easier. Especially for the weapons that I struggled with. Alright, so now that I explained how I got to this point, let's take Agent 8's pallet up the Spire. Now, I'm also going to be giving a tutorial on how to do each level. Now, each level may, like, be in a different, like, the mechanics are going to be the same, but the order of each level may be different for you. So, like an example, an 8-ball level could be on level 1 for me, whereas for you, an 8-ball level could be on, like, level 8 or something. So the order is randomized, but the mechanics are the same. So I'm going to go through each level all the way up to the final boss. Alright, let's go. Alright, so starting off here, what are the most common tones inside Agent 8's palette? Okay, it's power and speed. Okay, so in case you don't know what common tones are, the way it works is like those color chips are more likely to appear in level selection, so just thought I'd let you know. Now, personally, I'm looking at all the options here, and considering that you have a limited amount of color chips, because the thing is, the more hacks you have with Marina, the less color chips you can get, so I'd be very wise when selecting your color chips. So I'm going to also show you my build as I go up. So personally, out of all these options, I'm going to choose main firing speed. Yeah, it looks like I can only have 6. So yeah, I gotta be really selective. Oh, it looks like we get more Marina Dev Diaries on the way up. That's gonna be nice. I'll reveal whatever that is once we're done here. So yeah, now that increased my fire speed, which is good, so let's do this. So the way you destroy the portals is, well, like it says, you destroy the portals. So the thing is, what I like to do in this scenario is I like to use especially these springy guys just to give me a little bit of like some height. And you can even use their pedestals to, like, glide on with the Pearl Drone and maneuver yourself a little bit. Alright, so looking at the next options, I'm actually going to go for swim speed. It's just nice to have that, because I feel like with the final boss, I'm typically running away from his attacks and then, like, wait till he's done with those attacks in order for me to strike, so I do feel like I need those swim speed up perks, personally. Alright, protect the zone. It's, well, splat zones, so you essentially just need to hold the zone for a short period amount of time. I gotta admit, Agent 8's palette is honestly, I feel like it's not, like, terribly difficult compared to, like, the Tri-Stringer, in my opinion, because it's a shooter, so. Watch out for these guys, though, because they're like little mini sprinklers, essentially, so just try to keep them away from the zone if you can. So I'm actually going to go for the mobile special charge. So while you're moving, your special will constantly charge. Alright, so the 8-ball levels. They essentially work to where, well, these guys here, they're going to always like the 8-ball. They're kind of like dogs who like to chase their little tennis ball. It's kind of odd. But anyway. What essentially you can do is you just kind of get the 8-balls in and try to get them away from these enemies because they'll just knock it around everywhere. Alright, so this is the vending machine part. Now you can either do a floor or you can do the vending machine. Personally, I want to look at what the vending machine has to offer. Alright, so it offers me specials. Now, personally, I'm going to keep the triple splash down, and I'm going to keep the splat bomb. And actually, I'm not even going to get the color chip. I'm going to save my bucks up a little bit. I'm going to go for the sound wave damage up. The reason why I'm trying to save my membucks is because I have a hack from Arena that allows me to be able to spend 2,600 membucks in order to get some more lives if you die. So just in case, like, it's always nice to have for the final boss, I feel like. So I got that hack, and I'll actually show you all the hacks I have and my build that I used once we complete this. Alright, so we're back to more 8-balls, where you just push the 8-ball in the goal. It isn't like incredibly hard as of right now because I'm on the easy difficulty for this particular level. I like to honestly even push the 8-balls just a little bit just to make them go in the little goal a bit faster. Alright, looking at the next floor selection, I'm going to go for ink damage up because it increases my damage for my weapon. And also for the pearl drone, so that's nice. Alright, so this is very interesting. So, considering I can no longer get any more color chips, it looks like depending on the difficulty it will allow me to get pearls, which could be really nice. So, I'm just going to go for normal here. Honestly, any pearls are really just nice because you can use them for currency and things like that. Alright, it's on to the boss. So, I'm also going to be giving a tutorial on the bosses. So, let's see which boss it is. Now, there's 3 bosses you can possibly get. This baller type enemy, and this enemy, and finally a boss known as the parallel cannon. So I won't be able to show you all 3 in this video, but I will at least be able to show you 2. So what essentially you do for this guy is you just kind of, well, shoot off the faces on the side, essentially like this. The thing is that spotlight could possibly see you, so I would get behind cover, like this little thing here, because the thing is, if the spotlight sees you, he will attack. I don't really want to risk that, so I'm just going to go over here behind this little area until it's safe to hit another face. Oh dear. It didn't see me this time, but it's still attack. Alright, so the thing is, once it does a big attack like that, it can give you a little bit of time in order to hopefully get those faces. I need to get behind cover, else the spotlight's gonna see me. The thing is, the more you shoot the faces, the faster it rotates. So You gotta be careful about that too. So I'd like kind of sit by cover like what I'm doing like this. That way you could just kind of like pop out here and there whenever you see a face come by. So for the lasers, it may seem scary, but what I'd do is I'd honestly get under here because I can always attack you out there. So jump over the little wave breaker type line and just kind of hide under here for a little bit. And maybe you can even hit a face way under there just like I did. So when it's down to like the last one, you can actually hit the top face and it will just crush the one below it. Alright, and that boss is done. Looks like we had a Marina Dev Diary. I'll check that out later. Alright, so the way this level works is it's essentially like a tower control, but you're not riding the tower, you're shooting the tower. So you just kind of gotta shoot it as you go along, and you also gotta try to just kind of like stay away from the enemies if you can. Now, if there are little zip pads by, I like to use those as well. Sometimes I even like to take my special and like do this. So I like to use like the little points. Something is you'll find a little checkpoint like this where the line is actually reversed. And the thing is, once you make it up, you just gotta shoot it a little bit more, but once you make it up that checkpoint, it will send off a little shockwave, hopefully defeating some of the enemies around you. Got this box right here. So just try to keep on shooting that. Now for the snipers, you just really should honestly try to take them out, aim at their head, because if so, you can hopefully deal with them quickly and easily. Your special can also help get through the areas, so I'm just going to use my triple splash down there, but that is how you do this level. Alright, so the way you deal with this is you essentially need to defeat these rolling fish who have little wheels. So essentially, what you can do is to slow them down, things like that. You can shoot your ink, and they will actually slow down in it, which is definitely a good idea and a nice way just to slow them down, just like you see in there. That one just slowed down because of my ink. Bombs aren't really going to do much against these guys because they're always rolling around. Unless maybe you got like a burst bomb or something and they're like stuck in your ink. That could be useful. But aside from that, I guess I don't really see the use case of bombs for this level. So sometimes in 8-ball levels are like steep hills you gotta push your little 8-ball on, essentially, kind of like this one. Here, let me use my splash stone just to take care of these enemies. And sometimes you can even do things like this, where if you got a little ledge like this, you can like shoot it like this and see if it makes it across, and which mine did, so good. So yeah, sometimes I just kind of push the 8-ball just a little bit to nudge it a little bit more to make the goal hit faster. Alright, we're halfway up the floors now. Let's see what boss is here. Alright, it's the parallel cannon. Alright, so I'm going to explain how this boss works. And strangely enough, this boss actually takes your... If you had Splatoon 2, it actually takes your model for Agent 4 and actually puts it in this battle, so... I don't know. I honestly don't know why that is. Because we never really saved Agent 4 at the end of Saturday, so... I really don't get that, but anyway... This is essentially like an Agent 4 type boss. Because as you just seen right there, that was my Agent 4 from Splatoon 2. Alright, so you can essentially just kind of get each one as they come on in. Now, if you're used to multiplayer, this shouldn't be too bad, considering they're NPCs. They're not as good as actual people, so... They can be a little difficult at times, but typically you can just try to kind of corner them in my ink like I'm doing. Because as you can see, they get stuck if they're in your ink. Alright, one more wave, good. I also like to try to take the high ground if I can, and just kind of spray the base, and just kind of spray the ground. Just to give me a little bit of an advantage here, because once they hit the ground, they're going to be immediately stuck in my ink. Ooh, Splat Bomb. Obviously, you can also use your specials and things like that to take care of these enemies as well. Alright, where's the last one? There we are. Good, alright, and that should deal with that, and we should be able to call this level done. So for this zone level, it's a little more unique than most Splatoon levels. It's because they have the little soaker blocks from the original Splatoon 3 story mode. Now what you do is you can just kind of shoot the soaker blocks. They'll give you a little bit of like a shield and try to block the enemies if you can. It can be a little hard, but you can just try. So I'm going to show you all the hacks and my builds and things like that after we're done with the run. Because I do have a few hacks here that are benefiting me in certain ways, so just so that way you all know like how my build works and things like that, I'll go over it once I'm done. Gotta admit this level is definitely getting difficult. Our splash down here is a little bit of like a panic button. I also like to try to like utilize the enemies in some way here, like the dreidels or examples like that, just to kind of give me a little bit of like some cover here and just some help with this. So once you get enough chips, like I just did her, Pearl can use her like shockwave thing in order for her to block the enemies and stop them from coming out of the portals, which can allow me to set up my little barriers again and hopefully get some of that time down on the zone. Alright, and we should be done here. So sometimes there are danger levels like this, where essentially they have a little condition to them, like this current condition that I have right here is lights out, which, well, means no lights. So the nice thing is the way I can tell that these enemies are the spinning enemies, you can see the little like glitchy type things above their heads. So it can be kind of easy to spot them if you're like quick like that. Like, I think I'm gonna honestly even just like ink the ground just a little bit, that way once they come around it can be a little easier to get them. Let's see, where did they go? Okay, they went over here. Should deal with one. I don't know where the others are, so I'm gonna go see if I can go find them. And there's another one over there. If I can get this little crowd here, if I can, then hopefully I can get those enemies. There's that one dealt with, and where's the last one? Let me see. On this little ledge here. Okay, is that it? Oh, there's two of them left. Okay. Alright, there we go. Alright, it's time to defeat Overlord for the last time, hopefully. So, the way you can essentially do this is I'm going to explain this whole boss fight and go in depth in how I do it. And let's see, I got 3 lives. We're good. Hello, Small Lusk. Let's do that, Smallwisk. One more time. Alright, so essentially you need to take down the portals. Now some portals will move, especially on like the second phase, so I always just try to go for these portals like really quickly and try to maneuver if his attacks come. This attack isn't half bad, you just kind of gotta move out of the way. Oh, and I died. It's alright. Alright, so I'm just going to deal with these portals, and hopefully we can clear this. At least this phase. Because the thing is, once you're done with the phase, it's a checkpoint. So even if you die, if you have another life, you'll be able to restart off from that phase. So you don't have to start all the way over from the beginning. Which is something nice that you can do. I also like to use these little spinny enemies if I can, because they can also make damage on the portal. So. Alright, that should be able to deal with first phase. Good. And now you just, well, I want to, obviously gotta hit Overlord, of course, so I'm gonna do that. It's honestly not half bad to hit him this way. Alright, there we go. That should deal with that, and we're on to the second phase. So these portals will now move, so keep that in mind, and I always try to ink the base because you can actually do little bits of chip damage. I also like to use these little dash pads on the sides here, especially for these portals, because it'll allow me to kind of get a little bit of edge here against the enemies. Alright, that should deal with that next portal, and the last one should be over there for this phase. I especially like to use these little enemies to kind of hit the others like that, if I can, just to kind of clear out some of the enemies nice and easily. Stingray. Alright, so this is where I said the curling bomb will come in handy, because you can just use your curling bomb like this to literally just escape the stingray, which is great. So the curling bomb has become just so useful for this fight. Throughout all the palettes I've done, I feel like the curling bomb has probably been by far the most useful sub in my opinion. Alright, he attacked me. It's alright, I'm just gonna go retreat for just a few seconds here for my armor. And he also throws super jumps and things like that, so keep in mind, he will be able to ink his whole base area like this. And also the tentacle attack. Now, once that happens, you obviously gotta move away from these. I like to use the pearl drone. Just give me a little bit of advantage here. Alright, and that should be able to deal with second phase. Now while portals are going up, I'm just going to ink around the area a little bit. Have me a little bit more room to maneuver. We're back to Stingray. It's alright. When Stingray comes, I just like to use my curling bombs. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, it's alright. Now keep in mind, once you do reset, once you do die, the portals that you took down are just going to go right back up, but you still will be on that phase that you died on. So you still have your checkpoint, but kinda not really, because the portals are still like, they just go right back up to where they were. So personally, the first portal that I like to take down within like the few seconds that I have initially for this fight is this one. I like the ones on the edges are a little easier to tackle later. That's just my opinion though. So this portal moves this way, so I'm gonna ink this path here just a little bit. That way it will get stuck in my ink just a little bit. Alright, reef sliders. So with the reef sliders, he's gonna send about 4 or 5 reef sliders at you. So I'm just gonna try to dodge those if I can, and I might even pick up some of these little pearl discs. Alright, there we go. Now Pearl can use her shockwave, and I can use that some time. I can use that to get me some time and hopefully hit some of these portals. Where's the next one? Oh, on the other side. Alright, this should be the last one, so I'm just going to deal with that really quick. I get a little bit of room to maneuver. Alright, back to Stingray. It's alright. I like to even use the Pearl glider here a little bit. Alright, I admit the triple splashdown is really nice just to get rid of these hordes, especially when you're like just clustered. Oh, I died. It's alright. So I got a hack from Arena that essentially allows me to get more lives with my membucks, so that's why I saved. I'll show you that. I'll show you all that hack later. Thing is, the thing that I've learned about Overlord slash Smallux is that you don't want to get greedy. Like, you just want to like try to take shots whenever you can. Like, that's a shot I could take right there, but you don't want to get super greedy. You kind of just want to take your time, and if you gotta retreat, retreat. You can always come back to the portals later. Like, in fact, I'm actually going to retreat here just because I'm low on ink. I'm even going to use one of these dash pads to help me get a bit of movement away. Alright, we're back to the reef sliders. So yeah, there's roughly about around 4 or 5 reef sliders he throws at you. So just keep that in mind. Although this is where the curling bomb comes in, because I can just kind of maneuver around this stage easily. Alright, so now that he's using Stingray, I kind of like to get on like the outer edges and see if I can use any of the enemies. Kind of like this little, the dreidel enemy here. Alright, reef sliders. Alright, and we did it! Alright, so that is how you defeat Overlord. Hi, Smallux. Alright, clear Agent palette. I'll show you all the rewards in my build. Alright, so here, just to start off while we have the color chips still active and shown. I got main firing speed, swim speed up, mobile special charge, sound wave damage, ink damage, squid attack, and that's it. I'll show you my hacks. And we also get a decent chunk of pearls. That's excellent. Take another picture. Alright, well let's look over here at Cypher's shop really quick. I think he has some new things in stock. Hey, Pixel Agent Nate, that's cool. I like that. And also a new piece of gear. Ooh, I like that a lot. I'm definitely gonna need to get that piece of gear, the Pearl plushie. I like that. I'll stock up on some pearls. Anyway, here is my hacks. Let me walk through Marina and show you all those. So I have max lives on level 4, damage reduction on level 3, max armor on level 2, broken armor on 1.2, armor recovery on level 3, broken speed armor on level 2, continue on level 3, which the way continue works is it essentially just allows you to use membucks in order to get extra lives, which I did use on Overlord at least once. No attack damage, no floor resets, no double chip rates, color chip bias on level 1, no pearl action drone things, no boss reveals, no vending machine resets, and no risky rewards. So those are all my hacks, and which one I used? I think the ones that mainly benefited me in this run were definitely max lives. Max armor, broken armor jump was needed in some areas. It saved me countless times. Definitely broken armor speed, especially for Overlorder. The continue, probably continue, and max lives are honestly probably my favorites in this run just because those extra lives, oh, they can be so useful. So anyway, those are all my hacks, and that's my build. So let's go into those rewards, shall we? So Marina has a few extra dev diaries from Oct, so let's just take a look at those. Also, we also get pictures of your lockers saying that you did each one, which is really nice. Alright, now let's go check out that OctoShot replica. So the first reward you get for side order is, well, you get Marina's Dev Diaries, which gives you more lore explanation, but you also get this badge, which says, cleared the Spire border with every pallet. So I'm actually going to put that on my tag. Alright, so that looks so nice. Alright, so now you can head on over here and you can claim those rewards. And look at all the oh my gosh. That looks so cool. I gotta take a picture of that. Wow. Alright, so I'm gonna just show each weapon and what they look like really quick. Also just some other rewards I got from the lockers I never picked up. I'm just gonna kind of just like speed through these. Oh, look, wow. They look so cool. Now, obviously, they have their original kits, so let me just go over each one. Here's Agent Ace. I'm gonna show some emotes with these weapons, so you can see what they look like. These look so cool. Hey everyone, it's OctoDylan. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.